welcome back to the English Learning Podcast. I'm Jason, your host, and joining me today is my fantastic co-host, Julia.
Hi, Jason. Hi, everyone. We're thrilled to have you with us today. If you struggle with thinking in English, this episode is made for you.
Exactly. Have you ever found yourself translating every word in your mind before speaking? It really slows you down, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Many English learners encounter this issue. They think in their native language first, then attempt to translate into English, and by the time they're ready to speak, the moment is gone. But don't worry. In today's episode, we'll show you how to train your brain to think directly in English, just like a native speaker.
And believe me, once you start thinking in English, everything becomes much easier. Speaking, listening, even writing. So if you've ever wondered how to stop translating and start thinking in English naturally, stay tuned because we have some powerful techniques to share. Let's get started.
All right, Jason, let's kick things off with the big question. Why is thinking in English so crucial for learners?
Great question, Julia. The fact is, if you always think in your native language first and then translate, you'll never achieve fluency.
Exactly. It creates a delay, right? Your brain is working twice as hard. First, it forms a sentence in your native language. Then, it searches for the right English words. And sometimes, the translation doesn't even make sense.
Oh, absolutely. For instance, if someone translates "I am cold" word for word from another language, they might say, "I have cold," which sounds unnatural in English.
Right. And that's why thinking in English is so beneficial. It trains your brain to construct sentences the way native speakers do, without getting stuck on translation.
Let's also talk about confidence. When you begin to think in English, you feel more self-assured because words come to you more quickly.
Yes, no more long pauses to translate in your head. You'll respond naturally and smoothly.
Another significant benefit is that it enhances your listening skills. If you think in English, your brain processes English conversations more rapidly, allowing you to understand people better.
That's so true. And not just in conversations. Even when you're watching movies or listening to music, you start recognizing words immediately instead of translating everything.
And Julia, don't forget that thinking in English also aids in pronunciation.
Good point. Because when you think in English, you begin to hear the sounds in your head the way native speakers pronounce them, which helps you speak clearly.
So to summarize, thinking in English helps you speak more quickly, boosts your confidence, improves your listening skills, and even enhances your pronunciation.
Now you might be wondering, okay, I understand why it's important, but how can I actually train my brain to think in English?
Don't worry, we'll break it down step by step. But first, let's discuss some common mistakes that prevent people from thinking in English.
Now that we understand the importance of thinking in English, let's address the issues that hold people back. Common mistakes that hinder learners from training their brains to think in English.
Yes, many learners aren't even aware they're making these mistakes. But once you correct them, you'll notice significant improvements in your fluency.
All right, mistake number 1, the biggest one, being overly reliant on translation. If you always translate in your mind before speaking, your brain never gets accustomed to thinking in English directly.
Exactly. It's like trying to ride a bike with training wheels forever. You need to trust your brain to form sentences naturally instead of always seeking the right translation.
Another frequent mistake is focusing too much on grammar while thinking. Many learners attempt to construct every sentence perfectly in their mind before speaking, but that actually slows them down.
Oh yes, grammar is essential, but if you constantly stop to check every minor rule, you'll never speak naturally. Native speakers don't think about grammar rules when they talk.
Exactly. And guess what? Even native speakers make grammatical mistakes sometimes.
Now, mistake number 3, the fear of making mistakes. Some people are so afraid of saying something incorrectly that they prevent themselves from thinking or speaking in English altogether.
Right. But making mistakes is a part of learning. The more you practice thinking in English, the better you'll become. Don't fear sounding imperfect. Fluency comes with practice, not perfection.
Absolutely. Another mistake that blocks thinking in English is not surrounding yourself with the language. If your daily life is filled with your native language, your brain will naturally default to that instead of English.
Great point. If you only use English in a classroom or for studying, but not in daily life, your brain won't naturally switch to English.
And that's why immersion is so crucial. Activities like listening to English music, watching English videos, and reading in English can make a difference.
Exactly. Now, let's quickly recap the main mistakes that prevent you from thinking in English. 1. Over-reliance on translation. 2. Overthinking grammar while forming sentences. 3. Fear of making mistakes. 4. Not immersing yourself in enough English.
If you're making any of these mistakes, don't worry. The good news is we're going to show you how to fix them.
Yes, up next, we'll share some powerful step-by-step strategies to help you start thinking in English naturally.
All right, Julia. Now it's time for the most critical part. How can learners actually train their brains to think in English?
Yes, we'll break it down into simple, effective steps that anyone can follow.
Great! Let's begin with step 1. Name things around you in English.
Oh, I love this one! It's such an easy habit to develop. Just look around and say the names of objects in English. For example, if you're in your room, think bed, window, layup, phone.
Exactly. And to take it a step further, you can describe what's happening. Instead of just thinking cup, you could think, I am drinking coffee from my cup.
Yes, this helps your brain connect everyday life to English, making it feel more natural over time.
Now, step 2. Talk to yourself in English. It may feel odd at first, but it's one of the best ways to start thinking in English.
Yes, you can do this anywhere. While cooking, getting dressed, or walking outside. Just describe what you're doing in simple English.
Like saying, I'm putting on my shoes, or it's a sunny day. The great thing is, there's no pressure because you're just talking to yourself.
Exactly. And if you're worried about making mistakes, don't be. No one is listening. It's just you training your brain to use English naturally.
Great. Now step 3. Use an English-to-English dictionary.
Oh, this is a game changer. Many learners still use dictionaries that translate words into their native language. But switching to an English-to-English dictionary helps you think in English rather than translating.
Right. For instance, if you don't know the word excited, instead of translating it to your native language, look it up in an English dictionary where it says feeling very happy and eager.
That way, your brain connects words in English, not another language, and it naturally enhances your vocabulary.
Next step. Think in simple sentences first.
Yes, many learners attempt to think in complex sentences too soon, and that can leave them feeling stuck. Start with short, straightforward thoughts.
For example, instead of thinking, I should go to the store because I need to buy some vegetables for dinner, just say, I need vegetables.
Exactly. Once you get comfortable, your sentences will naturally become longer over time.
Moving on to step 5. Have an English inner voice.
Oh, I love this one. Instead of thinking in your native language, try to have a little conversation in English in your head. For instance, if you're planning your day, think, what should I do first? Maybe I'll start with breakfast.
Yes, this is like turning your thoughts into an English dialogue. It's one of the quickest ways to start thinking in English effortlessly.
And you can even ask yourself questions in English, like, how do I feel today? Or, what should I wear?
That's a fantastic habit. Finally, step 6. Surround yourself with English.
Yes, the more you expose yourself to English, the more natural it becomes. Listen to English podcasts, watch English videos, and read books or articles in English.
Exactly. The more English you hear, the more your brain will start thinking in English automatically.
So let's quickly recap the 6 steps to train your brain to think in English. 1. Name things around you in English. 2. Talk to yourself in English. 3. Use an English-to-English dictionary. 4. Think in simple sentences first. 5. Have an English inner voice. 6. Surround yourself with English.
These steps will help you stop translating and start thinking in English naturally.
Yes, and the best part is you can begin practicing these today.
Next, we'll discuss daily exercises you can do to make thinking in English a permanent habit.
All right, Jason, we've talked about strategies to start thinking in English, but now let's take it a step further. How can learners practice this daily and make it a habit?
Yes, because just knowing the techniques isn't enough. You need consistent practice to train your brain to think in English naturally.
Exactly. So let's share some straightforward daily exercises that will help learners build this skill.
First, start and end your day with English thoughts. As soon as you wake up, try to describe your plans for the day in English.
Yes. Instead of thinking in your native language, say in your mind, today is Monday. I have a meeting at 10 a.m. I will have lunch with my friend. Then at night, do the same. Review your day in English before sleeping.
Think about what you did today. Did you enjoy it? This helps your brain switch to English mode at the beginning and end of the day.
The second daily practice, set a no translation rule for at least 30 minutes a day.
Oh, I love this idea. For those 30 minutes, challenge yourself to think only in English. No translating allowed.
Yes, it might be tough at first, but even if you struggle, just try. The more you practice, the easier it will get.
Next, talk to yourself in English out loud for a few minutes each day.
Right. Just like we mentioned earlier. Describe what you're doing. You might say, I'm making tea. It smells wonderful. I'll drink it while reading a book.
The key is to integrate English into your daily routine, even if no one is around to hear you.
Another excellent way to practice is to use English during simple activities, like cooking, driving, or exercising.
Yes. Rather than letting your mind wander, focus on thinking in English. If you're going for a walk, you could think, the weather is nice today. The sky is blue. I feel relaxed.
Finally, keep a simple English journal. Write down your thoughts, what happened during your day, or even your goals in English.
This is a fantastic way to monitor your progress. And don't worry about grammar. Just focus on expressing yourself in English.
All right, let's quickly summarize these daily exercises. 1. Start and end your day in English. 2. Set a no translation rule for at least 30 minutes a day. 3. Talk to yourself out loud in English. 4. Use English during simple activities. 5. Keep an English journal.
If you do these small exercises every day, thinking in English will become second nature over time.
That's right. Up next, we'll discuss how to stay motivated and consistent in your English thinking practice.
All right, Julia, we've covered how to practice thinking in English daily. But let's be honest, learners will encounter challenges along the way.
Absolutely. It's normal to face difficulties, but the key is to overcome these challenges instead of giving up.
So let's explore 3 common challenges and how to address them.
One of the biggest struggles is that learners naturally think in their native language first, then try to translate into English.
Yes, and that slows everything down. The solution? Be patient and start with small English thoughts instead of full sentences. Just begin with words or phrases.
Right. And using an English-to-English dictionary instead of translating words can also help keep your brain in English mode.
Another challenge is feeling stuck because you can't find the right words. This can be very frustrating. It happens to everyone.
But instead of stopping, try to describe the word using simple English. For example, if you forget the word refrigerator, think of it as a cold box where I keep food.
That's a great suggestion. The goal is to keep thinking in English, even if you don't know every word.
Now, this one is tough. Many learners feel like they aren't making progress and lose motivation.
Yes, but the truth is, progress is gradual, and you might not notice it immediately.
The best solution? Track your progress. Keep a small journal, record your voice, or even talk to yourself in front of a mirror. A few weeks later, you'll see the difference.
The most important thing is to stay patient and persistent. Thinking in English is a skill, and like any skill, it requires time to develop.
That's right. Don't be afraid of making mistakes. Just keep practicing, and soon, thinking in English will feel natural.
Wow, Julia, we've gone over so many excellent strategies today. Thinking in English is a journey, but with the right approach and daily practice, anyone can achieve it.
Absolutely. Remember, start small, stay consistent, and don't fear making mistakes. The more you practice, the easier it becomes.
Now, to all our listeners, what's one tip from today's episode that you're going to try first? Let us know in the comments or share your experiences with us.
And if you found this episode helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our podcast for more English learning tips. Keep practicing, keep thinking in English, and we'll see you in the next episode.